a car can be stressful, especially if you have a budget to stick to, like most people, or if you're an introvert and you don't feel comfortable negotiating, like me. Hey friends, if you see my previous video about selling my car, then you probably know that I've been looking for a replacement. I had in my mind's eye a 2016 Toyota Prius, a red one with around 60,000 miles and in my price range. So pretty much every day I was checking AutoTrader, CarMax, Facebook Marketplace, Craigslist, and other local dealerships to find my next car. And what kind of research would this be if I didn't make a spreadsheet with all of the information that was important to me about this car? So for 3 weeks, I kept filling out my spreadsheet and making phone calls, and twice the car had just been sold before I made the call. Until finally, I found one. It was a Prius, but silver and 2 years older than I would have liked, with 40,000 more miles than I would have liked. Turns out it was really difficult to find that year and mileage that I was dreaming of in my price range, which was really the only non-negotiable thing. And after having done a bit of research, I found that it's not uncommon for Priuses to last over 200,000 miles. So I called the dealership and asked them a list of questions that I compiled throughout my research. There's a link to this PDF of questions in the description below, but as it's a working document, if you have any suggestions for other questions that would be good to ask when buying a used car, please let me know in the comments below. Once I was satisfied with all of the information that I knew about the car and it was time to see the car in person, I asked my tennis partner if he wouldn't mind taking me to Houston, and we got to enjoy some barbecue on the way. The feature that I was most looking forward to in my new car was a rear view backup camera. I even had that in my list of questions, and it was a column in my spreadsheet. And when I had called a day before, the dealership lady said that there was a backup camera. Lo and behold, when we arrive, what's missing? To be fair, I think the lady at the dealership didn't understand quite what I meant by backup rear view camera, and so I didn't think that it was anything facetious. I was ready to walk away, and I think that that power to be able to walk away is a very important one to keep in mind when you're car shopping. I handed the lady back the keys to the car, and she said, "What about if I pay for an aftermarket one?" This was not out of the question for me. So Meiho and I test drove the car to an inspections place. They gave me a list of all of the maintenance that they recommended for the car, and that was good for me to be mentally prepared and decide whether or not I was going to even take that on, and an estimate amount of all of that work so that I could take back to the dealer in an attempt to get more negotiating power. I felt like the negotiation part was awkward, and that it always was going to be awkward, but in actuality, I think that a lot of people do it. Like, the majority of people negotiate the price. Like, I know it seems kind of embarrassing, especially if you're shut down, but the answer is always going to be no if you don't ask. And with the numbers that I had been gathering all day, because it was an all-day event, I felt like I had rationale on my side. I managed to buy my little Prius $1,000 under my price range, which is awesome, and also makes sense because I'm probably going to have to do at least some of that maintenance recommended. I might never get that backup camera for this car, but it'll be in the next one. Incredible. So I might be going to Houston tomorrow.